You have the wrong idea about discipline. The majority of people in the self-help space will tell you to do things regardless of how you feel and just do it because that's what a disciplined person does on some hustle culture shit. And I'm not gonna lie, on the surface, that sounds like really good advice, and they're right to some extent, but it's very vague. Like, doing things regardless of how you feel is a component of it, but a major factor in discipline comes down to the standards you have for yourself. You obviously want to become disciplined to either achieve a goal, be able to do work and study for long durations of time, and live a relatively good life with a dose of discipline in there without any distractions, because in order to live a good life you got to have discipline in place in order to get that ideal reality. But the major problem is that people are trying to force discipline onto themselves instead of allowing themselves to voluntarily become disciplined in some areas. And the fact that you have this idea in your head to become disciplined is a noble thing to begin with, but how you are now is not congruent with the person you want to become that has these disciplinary traits. And discipline comes from clarity in defining who you want to become and looking at who you are currently. And if I had to guess, just based off you clicking on this video alone, you likely have a hard time focusing, and likely you probably get told of what you think you want just because you never bothered to reflect on your identity. This is why I heavily advocate for deep journaling, because it gives you a chance to reflect on your thoughts, behaviors, desires, and specific thought patterns of why you do and pursue certain things. Like, for example, why do you work out? Why do you scroll? Why do you go to school? Why do you get this job? Why do you pursue big goals, and so on and so forth? Like, is it because it's something that you genuinely want, or did either your parents, teachers, influencers, like online and shit, or society tells you what you want? And if you don't know why you do what you do, then it's a distraction and low-key an indication that you've been pursuing other people's expectations of what they want for you. And if nobody's gonna tell you this, I'm gonna tell you, because it's your life, your dreams, not theirs. So by knowing this should be empowering and a sign to let you know that you need to step into the discomfort of creating a new identity from a blank slate, since there's likely a chance that you haven't took the time to reflect before on why you pursue what you pursue. Sit with those questions and try to create a whole new identity, because as we established before, the person you want to become and the person you are now are two completely different people. And for some of you smartasses that probably think that you are that person currently, you're not, because otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video in the first place. And it would be easier for you to seamlessly achieve that goal without much effort because you're already that person. Like, a disciplined person just does the thing because that's just who they are. For example, a gamer has no problem sitting in front of a screen all day gaming his life away, no offense to gamers, for hours on end, because that's his identity or her identity. A bodybuilder has no trouble going to the gym, studying nutrition, diet, and exercising daily, or finding motivation to get to the gym, because a bodybuilder is their identity. Another example is someone who considers himself to be a scholar, someone who studies for hours on end, someone who gets good grades and has high standards for themselves. They find no trouble studying for long durations of time, or even getting themselves to study, because they don't accept anything less from what they set for themselves. And anything that clashes with those identities and causes them to derail from their routine and what they're used to naturally, that's gonna cause hell. Like, for example, if I were to take the scholar and have them switch roles with the video gamer would not feel like thrilled to study. They'll want to go back to their comfort zone of what they're used to naturally. Vice versa, the person that studies a lot would not find much enjoyment from playing video games because they gotta get their grades up. They don't want their grades to fall. And likewise, like, if I were to switch the bodybuilder with the gamer, like, someone who studies nutrition would not want to be in front of the game all day, because that's like the worst thing they could do for their health. It's like a living hell for them. But I think you get my point. They're conditioned to be that way the same way you've conditioned yourself to be a certain way you are up to this point. So if you want to be more disciplined, you first got to grasp and actually understand, like, keep this into your mind, that change is uncomfortable, because essentially what you're doing is you're killing off your old self and allowing a new version of you to be reborn. But after you go through this minor period of transitioning, once you gain clarity on who this new version of you is, which includes how they act and what they do on a daily basis, then it becomes easier as you integrate and implement these actions into your life. Like, bro, do something about 1,000+ times until it becomes second nature to you without motivation to do so, because it's natural. It's just who you are. And it comes easy to you like tying your shoes. So you don't need to resist or force yourself to do these things. And honestly, and here's a tip for you, the one mindset that can help you get there is to say yes to the thing that matters the most to you and saying no to things that don't serve you, aka the distractions. And a good way to identify whatever your distractions may be, the common ones are like social media, junk food, porn, or toxic friends are the most common ones. A good way to identify a distraction is, if you're unaware of why you're doing something, assume it to be a distraction. That's an instant way to cross out a distraction and identify it. Because the pain of not getting what you desire should far outweigh the pain of giving up on things that don't serve you. So essentially, using your negative emotions are going to be your best friend to guide you into avoiding these things that don't serve you. Because when you're aware of like the stuff that's going to derail you from your goals, it's impossible for anything to penetrate your laser focus, becoming that disciplined person person and just makes everything feel effortless than doing the bad habits that keeps you in an undesirable state. Literally just reprogram your mind. And I gotta place heavy emphasis on reprogramming your mind, because if you ever think about like the high elite entrepreneurs, like the people at the top, on the outside looking in, it looks like they're so disciplined, but it's because they don't have many irrelevant shit in their lives. They cut out most junk, and that's why they're able to like just hone in their skills and stay focused. And then from the outside looking in, we're like, oh, these people are so disciplined. Bro, they literally had to reprogram their mind. They wasn't born that way. They wasn't like naturally just that way from the jump. They had to go through a transitioning period similar to the one you're going through right now. And the only reason why they're this way is because they programmed their mind without forcing themselves to be a certain type of way. And that's also because they became aware of what their life would look like if they did not change. Their goals and who they wanted to become was far more important than these instant gratification things that has a grip on us. So here's the thing I want you to do. Ask yourself this question, right? What does your life look like if you do not change in weeks, months, or even years from now? And I'll let you know off rip, it's not pretty. And once you're aware of this, this should cause a burning desire in you to want to change, since you know deep down that you're meant for more. Hell, I mean, you clicking on this video shows me that you know that you're meant for more. So use that negative energy as fuel to get away from that undesirable reality that you were heading in, because it's a lot easier to identify what you want, right? But once you're aware of what you do not want, it becomes so much more easier to navigate through your life. So think about the downsides more than the upsides, because all people like to think about is the rewards, and then that's when they quit. That's not you though, right? Nah, that can't be you. But it's really that simple. Reprogram your mind and try to get a better understanding of why you pursue what you pursue, and create a new identity off of a blank slate. Basically, I'm just regurgitating what I said throughout the video. But anyways, that's all you have to do. And that brings me to the end of this video. If you found value from this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with a friend who needs to see or hear this. Dream big and take action. I'm gonna see you guys. Peace.